I'll press record again. Here we go. Share screen again.
Sorry, I'll mute myself because I'm driving.
Thanks, Andrew. Now I think so. We'd spoken about principles, and then we're on to practice of cardiac sonography. I told you a little bit about the imaging evaluation, the written exam. I think we're up to describing the written exam. The written exam is similar to what you guys are used to. It has 3 parts. Come on. Okay. It has 3 parts. Multiple choice questions, short answer and long answer questions. Just like last year. Yeah. And practical exam as well. There'll be some refinements to the practical exam. In short, 3 imaging stations, 3 non-imaging stations. Obviously, the focus will be what we cover when you guys come on campus. There'll be more demanded of you. You'll be asked to acquire better images, better image quality. Looking ahead, I was talking to you a little bit about the imaging sequence. The final exam is going to be a full study, okay? The final exam when you come in at the end of the year will be an hour, and you're expected to acquire, according to the imaging sequence, a full study on a patient with a pathology. That's looking ahead. That's not this semester. This semester, the practical exam that, for those of you who have done them before, are familiar with. For those of you who haven't, I'll go through that when you come on campus. Keep your logbook. Keep your logbook going. As you can see, my pointer seems to have gone. Is it anywhere? I've lost my pointer. No. For this semester, you're expected to image 400 patients. Now, I hope that you've been keeping your logbook ever since we finished off last year. I'm very happy for you to continue on from December, January, February. You'll have to submit it in early June, okay? Semester 2, the numbers are a little bit lower because there'll be a number of other things for you to focus on. But ultimately, when you do, at the end of the year, submit your logbook, you'll need to have 1,150 images or examinations in your record. 100 of those can be observed. For those of you who are not familiar with the terminology, an observed exam is one that you've acquired fewer than 50% or more of the images and measurements, but you guys should by now be acquiring images and doing studies all by yourself. I do expect you guys that this is a postgraduate course, and we're starting to now submit things that you need to be paying attention to certain elements. The university's got a very clear policy about cheating and the likes. You're expected to submit your own work. So things like case studies and things like that, which are going to be submitted via an application called Turnitin, which looks for, similarities with regards to students' work and referenced articles and things like that. Be very careful about the way you approach things in that regards. Go about things, in the right way. When you guys come on campus, treat one another well, and you guys did last year, and I anticipate you'll do again. Treat the volunteers who are really well, and your tutors also. If there's an issue, if there's any problems, please let me know. The longer or the further advanced things get, the more difficult they are to work out. With that in mind, if you haven't enrolled in the units yet, please enroll early. There are still ongoing issues from last year with people who are meant to graduate and they hadn't enrolled before the census date, and it gets really hard. And, people then have to pay money up front, etc., etc. So enroll early, enroll before the census, please. It'll make it much easier for yourself. you guys should expect good things from me as well. I've got to prepare things well, deliver things in a professional manner, things that are relevant, things that are interesting, things that will help you to improve. I have to treat everyone well. We have to mark all exams, all assessments fairly. With that in mind, you'll have to get much more familiar this year with marking criteria, and before assessments, you'll be given an indication of exactly how things are going to be graded according to that criteria. And again, if things happen, if an assessment item becomes a problem because, I don't know, you know, a relative passes away or something happens, please let me know sooner rather than later. You guys know most of the people who are involved. I've not listed there the two tutors who you'll meet in first semester. Anyway, Kristen and Kenny. Most of the other people there you may well have met before. Here we go. There they are. Anyway, I've said lots and lots. I could hear a couple of questions being asked. I do have one or two other things just to reinforce, but has anyone got any questions that they want to fire away?
Me? Well, I just wanted to confirm, so with this semester's logbook, we can record our scan from last year, December?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So if you've been keeping your logbook since December, they can be very much included in the logbook that you submit in June.
Okay.
Okay. I heard a couple of people asking about exams. So in the principles of cardiac sonography, unlike last year, there's no written exam at the end of semester. In the practice of cardiac sonography, there is a written exam. What we're really building up towards is the practical exam at the end of the year. So there'll be a mid-year practical exam for practice of cardiac sonography 3. And then at the end of the year, everyone will have to do an hour-long full study. Any other questions?
Me? With hi, Paul. With regards to sequences, do we have to do them because we cover everything? Like I understand that the main ones are parasternal, long, short, sternal, but within each scan have to be in a particular order, or as long as you cover everything?
Sure, good question. So Afifa, what you'll be expected to do is the imaging sequence is not meant to be something that needs to be followed 100%. Having said that, everything within the imaging sequence needs to be completed. So if you do slightly differently, that's fine. Now, I'm just going to give you an example of what's not acceptable. And it'll be an extreme example, just to, you know, for example. So don't start image in the subcostal view in an adult. You'll be expected to start, you know, your imaging from the parasternal long axis view. And then there are certain views that you're expected to take. It doesn't necessarily matter exactly how that sequence goes about, provided that there's some kind of continuity or logical progression, okay? And then in terms of the apical images, again, if you start, say, for example, with a 4-chamber view, and we will expect you to start with a 4-chamber view, and then you go to the 2-chamber and the right heart before coming back to the long axis. If you do things slightly differently, that's not a big concern, but everything within the imaging sequence does need to be imaged. I hope that makes sense. I'll explain a little bit more when you guys come on campus. Views is cutting in and out, so I might just finish up. If you've got any questions, please send me an email. I just want to cover a couple of other things. There's a competition, and this is where all you guys start cheering. What I'll ask you guys to do is submit your best 2D or Doppler image in JPEG format to me via email by Friday the 23rd. Actually, I think that's the wrong date. The date should be Friday the 22nd. Sorry, typo. Friday the 22nd. If you want to be in the competition, and what that means is that on the Views homepage, your image will be there for the rest of the year. There are some awards that will be presented at the end of the year. Okay, this is not at the end of this semester, this is at the end of the year. There will be a Clinical Excellence Award and there will be a Case Report Award. 2 awards. The 2 awards will go to 2 separate people. So it's just a way of recognizing more than just one person. Now, they will be judged not only by myself, but other people in the faculty. Clinical excellence, a big part of that obviously will be your final practical exam, and the case report will be something of a combination of the 2 case reports that you submit. If there's a particularly outstanding one, that will probably be receive the award. The awards are presented from the Australian Sonographers Association, and what they are in short is they pay for your attendance at their annual scientific conference, which changes among the capital cities each year. I need you to do a couple of things for me. Now, I know you told me who your supervisor was last year, but I just want you to tell me again, please. So via email by this Friday, please send me your supervisor's name, number, and email address, just so that I have it for the record, because I want to be in touch with them just to say thank you, just to let them know what we're going to be aiming to achieve, to tell them a little bit about the on-campus seminar. And again, let me just remind you of the date for the on-campus seminar, Thursday the 4th and Friday the 5th of April. So I might finish up there. What I will do is I'll try and merge these 2 recordings and make them into one. They'll be available to you as soon as the e-learning platform goes live, which will, the plans are for midday tomorrow. There'll be a couple of announcements posted as well, just with regards to how to navigate your way around the site. If you are unsure about it, send me an email and I'll be happy to again soon.